In this session, we have two panels, I would say, two sections. The first one is going to be a presentation by Sandris Murins. Sandris, he's here. He's from Iconiq Lab. He comes from Berlin, even though he's originally from Latvia, as far as I know. So his platform, his layer of service is quite interesting. I believe the startups who are among us today would be quite interested in the idea. Let's hear what he has to say. Sandris.
So, hi, everybody. First of all, I want to say that one thing and one compliment to Turkish people. So I think from my experience yesterday, you are one of the most helpful people so far I met. So I think it's a great nation. And I will make applause to you. And you can make me too. So shortly about me, I'm a serial blockchain entrepreneur. This is my second project. The first blockchain project, I co-founded 2 years ago in New York. It was like digitalizing all lending on blockchain. This is like second one. And the second one is Iconiq Lab. It is like token accelerator. For what reason it is or whom it serves? First of all, we are like pre-ICO fund. So it means that we help investors to source very good token investments. So it means that what we do, we source a lot. We see a lot of startups, and we work with the best ones. We select best ones, and then we help investors to invest early in pre-sales of those tokens. That's what we do for investors. But from startups, we're just helping them to issuing funds or raising funds via issuing tokens. So in one sentence, who we are or what we are, sorry, we are like Techstars, and Techstars is one of the biggest accelerators in the world, but only for crypto community, or only for crypto world, only for tokens. And why we are doing that, this thing, so I'm more like serial entrepreneur, but all other like my partners come from investment managers. They are all our investment managers, and both as a startup and they are as investment managers. We understand that there is something wrong now in what's going on in early stage investments. And there's a huge impact of venture capitals as gatekeepers. And what does it mean? It means, for example, if I'm an investor, for me, it's very hardly to invest in tech startups directly. So it means that I usually give money to VCs as institutional investor. Institutional investor, then he provides me back for 7-10 years. So I cannot sell investors my investment meanwhile, and I don't have any power of what they choose or what not. And from startup perspective, there is something wrong as well. So I can say as an entrepreneur, it takes a long time to fundraise from VCs. It could take from 6 to 9 months. It's usually very harsh talks. And if you get somebody, then somebody you get on the board, they're usually like the ones that you could share with them the power. And sometimes it's not the best chemistry between you and them. And they start like dictating their agenda and how they see company issued, and you as a founder have a completely different thing, and then there is clashes. So, and we see that ICOs just disrupting these things. So it's not only about huge investment opportunities in tokens, but it's fundamental innovation here. And in fundamental innovation are in two things. First, it gives investors much easier to invest in tokens and sell investments. So it means it gives huge liquidity, and it somehow at least get rid of some functions or some intermediary, which was VCs. And from startups, it gives much easier to fundraise via not giving away the power. But it's usually about tokens, and there is a huge variety of tokens. And there could be like utility tokens on one side, and asset or equity or share security type token on other side. And there could be like different, a lot of different things between, like membership token. It's a token which, if you have this token, you can access to some services and so on. And here, this game start becoming more and more regulated. So it's always there are start became new tokens type, but as well as some kind of tokens are more regulated than others. But this is the year when this like fundamental change or disruption start happening. And it's not only about the popularity of ICOs, but it's about the way that this is the first year when ICOs start overcoming, in particular one segment, in funding blockchain projects, they start overbeating venture capitalists. You see, till that year, like 52% of blockchain projects are funded via ICO. It's more than it's funded by VC, and we believe this will be the future of early stage investment in some 5 to 7 years, not applying to blockchain, but to all other technological industries as well. But of course, there is a lot of issues in the market, or a lot of challenges, and I think we are on very wild stage now, on very wild, unregulated, I would say very crazy stage. But of course, what we believe that this next stage will be more sophisticated, more regulated, and more trustful for both parties. But what are primary issues now in ICO market? The one big issue is still, if you as a startup, you need the money to make ICO. I made interviews a lot of how much money it was needed to make minimum level threshold at the beginning of the year. It was 50,000 euros. And now I would say you can't do good ICO without 150,000 euros. Because what's happening, marketing cost increasing and legal cost increasing significantly. This is one thing. Still, it's a good instrument, but a lot of startups doesn't have this first 150,000 in order to go this road. For investors, it's common frauds. You know, nobody doesn't know sometimes where they invest. So if you compare like due diligence, what make VCs, and due diligence, what make in ICOs, it's still a huge gap, which needed to be overcome. There is a legal framework which is quite start emerging now on the second half year, but it's very ambiguous. I know one Latvian startup which now they issuing their own security type token in the beginning of July, and they are now afraid to go to the United States because they are not sure whether they will be arrested on when they will enter or not. So it's become very, 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 very ambiguous thing. And it becomes ambiguous thing for both parties. So investors want some protection, but they do not know whether they are protected. Startups are quite afraid whether they won't be, whether they fulfill all compliance and they will not be legally prosecuted. Fourth problem is unaudited tokens contracts. You know, there is cases when you don't know whether what will happen with these smart contracts, whether money will follow or not, and who will not. Of course, there is a lot of over-liquidated projects. Yes, of course, that if we see this good and huge number of ICOs, it's still very hardly to just compare to all other startup investments. And why, for example, 20, 30 million ICO, what's the startup with white paper, what's going to do it, you know? And of course, there is like questions whether these are sustainable or not, and whether who make why 20 million and so on. So it's for investors with big doubts whether there is going to somewhere. They are not like they're not somebody just running for their money. And of course, there's lack of transparency. So you give them money and you don't know what's money happening. I know that there is, and we are company participating in a lot of initiatives in order to make it more transparent, so that we can track what's happening with that money afterwards, and then some kind of obligations, so that investors know what's happening with their money. And we are working now with Sentiment on that. We are co-developing a post-ICO reporting tool. But this is what I want to say. Here is of course, there is a lot of opportunities in ICO, and there's a lot of uncertainties. And now we are on the stage when we are on the wild, crazy stage, which will be self-regulated and partly self-regulated and regulated. And what we want to do, we want to be one part of those who make this ICO landscape more self-regulated and more balanced for both parties. Therefore, what we do, we are creating Iconiq token, Iconiq accelerator, which does three things, which source and fund top startups. So what we do, we help investors to find very good investment opportunities, and those who have our token, those investors, they will have opportunity to invest in those startups, to buy those startup tokens in pre-sales with very huge discounts. This is one thing. Second thing, for startups, we would like to be like a kickstart from idea to good ICO. So just reduce all hassles between. So I think, and we believe that the most important thing is when you are startups that you have a very good, inspiring idea, token idea, and this token idea which changes the world. And later on, it's all about whether you know somebody, whether you don't know somebody, whether you have funds or not. So this is what we bring to the startups. And third thing what we would like to do, we would like to bring transparency for crypto markets. So we want to set up the rules that any startup which are in our program, they should comply some reasonably reporting standards. So it means that investors know on each month how startups are progressing and what they're doing with that money. So for those who are interested to apply in the program, so it's you can apply now if you are a startup. It's the 12-week program. It's in Berlin, but from 12 weeks, you need 3 weeks, you need to be only in Berlin. You need to be first 2 weeks of the program and last week of the program. In the first 2 weeks programs, we assemble for you mentor team, one thing, and we just give hard lectures or tough lectures on legal stuff, on white paper, on marketing, and so on. And then we guide it through you all the process, all the 12 weeks. And this program ends with pre-sales. So we organize pre-sales for you, So and then we just, later on, we just guide and support your own ICO. So it means you come without money, we invest small money. After 12 months, you have some funds right in pre-ICO, and then you can launch your own ICO marketing, which we support and guide. And afterwards, we just help you with understanding how you need to behave after ICO, because it's game-changing. Now your token is on secondary market, so it's a way how you communicate affects value of token. It's one thing, and then we just clearly explain you what our reporting standards are. So what we expect from you, what kind of information of fulfilling milestones. So shortly, what we do, again, we give some pre-ICO seed funding. We connect you with investors. We help you with token development and with legal stuff. So in order to understand how much or what kind of companies are applying for us, so first of all, we have applications from all 5 continents. And I think we have applications for Turkey as well, startups. The main startups which apply are those who come from finance industry, and then software and IE, or all other high tech. And then all other industries are quite are represented, but with less significant impact. So usually when we ask them how much they would like to raise, they are moderate. Those startups is most part is from 3 to 5 millions. They would like to raise their own ICO. They are always going for quite a reasonable amount. On that side, what I want to say, what I can say about what startups are looking for, what kind of things, they have 3 priorities. One is they always looking for connectors to crypto investors, to connections. This is the most important thing why they're applying us. Second is they're looking for pre-ICO funding opportunities. The second reason. And third reason is all token structuring. I mean, legally and building smart contracts. So we have already signed contracts with 3 companies, which will start our program in 1st February. One is Topple. It helps with financing developing countries, and their token is like more like membership or utility type of a service type of token. So if you are in this platform, you need to use that token. And then is health base. It's from health. They digitalize health. And we have one more signed, and it's with they building company for gamifying crypto investments. So they just want to like people train how to invest money in crypto world, and they just creating a solution for that. So our like timeline. So we will issue our own token on November, December. So what it means, so that those investors who will have our token, they will have opportunities to participate in those companies' pre-sales. So we plan that in 5 years you will have opportunity to purchase around 300 tokens, invest in 300 companies, startups, next 5 years. We give you provide significant discounts, and we give you early stay. We give you exclusive information on startups. So what we collect during due diligence and what we observe during our program. So first batch or first program starts in Berlin in 1st February, and we are going to launch and to expand next year. At least we are thinking that we will be present in the United States market and in Asia, in Singapore and in China. These are like most not our priorities. Yes, we have received a lot of interest from all other different kind of people who would like to build an accelerators similar to us, and we are thinking about maybe we can some kind of work with that and some other like partnership, another partnership framework, like franchising or different format. So about our team, as I told you, our team is like is very experienced in investment. So Patrick Lowry, he is from United States, and he has worked for venture capitalists for 7 or 8 years. I am more on serial entrepreneur, in particular like blockchain, so I more understand maybe startups. Max, he's German, he's from Cologne. He has worked a lot of in venture and in venture capital industry, and particularly in venture building. And Lucas, he is Polish, who lives in Frankfurt. He has worked in a private equity company. So as you see, there is a lot of people who came from investment management side. And Arabdam, she's our marketing director from India, but she lives now in Barcelona. And she is more on marketing, but she has a computer science degree as well, and particularly with focus of artificial intelligence. So we have quite a lot of partners already who are some kind of part of our, which we signed. So one of the biggest maybe is token as a service, is one of the first hedge funds. Then we partnering with Frankfurt School of Blockchain, with Sentiment, with lawyers like Liquid, with platforms which help startups to find good accelerators and good investment opportunities like 568. And we are part of several initiatives of how to regulate and ICOs in more and particularly in Germany. So thank you very much, and maybe you have a question.
Okay, I'll start then. The token sale process for the acceleration program, are you issuing your own tokens so investors can subscribe them and basically purchase them?
Yes, we are issuing our own token. Our token launch will be publicly announced on November.
Okay, so as you said in the presentation, but is it sort of crowdfunding your own fund?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
And our own token holders, those who will hold our token, they will have opportunity to invest early. So they will have opportunity to invest to buy in pre-sales those tokens of startups which are a part of our program. And we provide additional due diligence information on these investment opportunities.
So I also understand that you are market agnostic, you are also industry agnostic.
Yes.
So you can incubate any startup from anywhere in the world, or from any industry.
Yes, it's true. Yes, it's true. But of course, we need. But there is as well. We representing investors as well. So and it's true that market is agnostic, but still, investors, to my mind, more prefer now organic blockchain projects.
Okay.
So it's not like that we are not working with all other companies, not. But if there's more like much better, you have a chance to make good ICO and to be part of our program if you are more with blockchain, organic blockchain project.
Okay, good. So there's a question.
Are you planning to accept equity-based tokens, or is it a deal breaker for you?
What?
Equity-based tokens.
Equity.
Yes, because it's legally so complex. Will you be accepting startups like that?
I would say on that side we are agnostic as well. It all depends on your idea. Yes. So I would say we are agnostic, but of course if those who have more like utility or service type of tokens, they have a little bit more privilege or more. There are more advantages in that sense. But if you just can compete on or over-compete on all other things, like you have maybe better team, or you have more like better token model or business model, then you can still be very attractive.
Okay. All right. There's one.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you only invest in ICO projects, or do you invest in different kind of blockchain?
No, only
projects?
those which are issuing tokens.
Okay,
Only those.
Okay.
Okay, so I know that the FinTech Hub, they're also considering to launch an accelerator program. So there might be some sort of cooperation opportunities with you guys, because most of the startups, they come up with ideas that are targeted for their local markets usually. So it may not be always easy to sort of come up with informed and educated decisions all the time. So that might be one of the things for you to consider.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Sandris. I really appreciate it.